What's up, guys? It's TechnoViking23 coming to you today with some Raid Shadow Legends, and we went ahead and dove in, following the trend of all the other content creators. We made a new free-to-play account. This is not something I normally like to do because it feels like all the other content creators, when they're bored or don't have content to make, they just jump in, make a new free-to-play, play it for like 2 months, and then they give up when they realize it's a lot harder than they thought it was. But I thought this would be kind of neat. I know there's a challenge going on right now. I believe Hell Hades, Deadwood Jedi, and a couple others are running that. I missed the boat on that one. I didn't even know it was going on, but I've been watching their videos, and it's kind of been giving me that itch to kind of start a new free-to-play because if I'm going to be completely honest, I really enjoy the early stages of Raid. It's so much fun to jump in, build your account from the start, all the different champions you might pull. It's a different experience every single time you've done it. Or you do it. Sorry, I don't know why I spoke in the past tense there. But so I just figured, you know what, why not? I was bored. Both of my main accounts is at level 100. My free-to-play account is at level 100. For those of you that don't know, I have done a full 2-year free-to-play play-along here on YouTube from level 1 to level 100. Early game all the way through end game on that account. I'm a pretty heavy end game player on my main account. I've done everything in the game, so this is kind of a new start. It's kind of fun to jump back in and have to go through the opening stages of the game once more. And quite honestly, one of the reasons I wanted to do this challenge, I guess I'm not really in the challenge, but I'll kind of follow along and see how they're doing. I'm about 9 or 10 days behind where they started, so we're getting off a bit slow compared to the rest of them. But I've been watching some of the videos, and it seems like everybody's still using advice from like 2019. Like it's all the same stuff from before. You had to play the game a certain way. And I'm just watching it, and I'm like, we'll see if we can do things our way and see how we're able to progress through the game. And you'll see by the name of our account, we are going with the best starter champion in the game. With Elhain, and I'll talk about that a little bit more. I've actually done a video on why I feel like she's one of the better starters in the game right now. I feel like the whole thing about you have to take Kale is just so completely outdated, especially with some of the promo codes they have going on right now. You can absolutely get some amazing stuff with the new starter promo codes. We actually did use one on day 1 today to get Deacon Armstrong, which being able to start with him is absolutely nuts. It just gives you so many options when you can get an epic like that. But let's kind of just jump in. We made some insane progress today. We're level 25. We have worked our way pretty well through the campaign. We are on to the hard campaign. We have worked our way up to Felwyn's Gate. I haven't actually started going in there yet. I wanted to take a break right before reset because you can see we still have 583 energy left before we get to the bottom there, and that'll probably continue to go up. That's the cool thing about the game. When you do first start out, you just get so much energy playing through the game that it's like you could just kind of keep playing it like it's not a gotcha game. It's like you just play all day long and do whatever you want. Let's see. On the normal campaign, we did go all the way through. We have not gone through and 3-starred everything just yet. I don't really care about that right now. We can always come back and do that later on. It won't be too difficult once we have some better gear on our characters. We do have kind of a list of things to do. Like for my own personal efficiency, what I like to do on an account, and that is to push the campaign as far as we can in the early stages of the game. We want to get to the brutal campaign as quickly as possible because then we can start farming some 5-star gear for our bottom pieces, our crit rate gloves, our percentage chest piece, and then some speed boots. And I don't really go along with the traditional advice of get to stage 12-3 and farm the crap out of it to make food. I actually like to get to stage 6 and farm 4 or 5 pairs of speed boots up for my champions, and then I'll go into 6-7 and farm that to get more speed pieces, hopefully for the bottom. If we feel like targeting a specific piece, we'll farm gloves and chest pieces there as well. And then getting to stage 8 where we can start farming a couple initial sets of lifesteal gear with percentage stats that we want to go in to start worrying about clan boss. But clan boss is not something we really have to worry about right now. I actually don't think I even did my clan boss keys yet today. I just joined like a random starter clan. There's a bunch of other people here that are in it too, you can see. But we haven't even really gone into that yet. I'm not going to really worry about that on day 1. We'll definitely run our keys to get whatever chests we can, but we won't start worrying about clan boss seriously for a couple of days at least. But that can kind of give you an idea of where we are. Now, Arena, we did actually farm up. We're 1 win away from getting into Silver 1 today, which is kind of crazy. We'll go in here. I think I'm on the next mission to do 10 arena matches. So we'll jump in and do that at some point to progress those progression missions. And I'll kind of show you where we are. They were on 54 out of 76. So again, we made some pretty good progress today. And once we get through this one, we'll be able to finish this. We've already cleared this. We should be able to get a level 3 ascension pretty easily. We're almost up to 50, I think, to get another Great Hall bonus. 3 stars in clan activity. Not sure if we'll be able to do that today or not. Stage 4 minnow we can do easily. Unlock up champion mastery. We can probably do that too. Clear stage 7 Deadlands already done. 5 artifacts from Ice Golem. We could just go in and do like stage 1 for that. That's pretty easy. 2 champs to 40. Already got it. 2 champions with 6 artifacts at level 12. That may be a little tough because you can see our silver right now is not insane. But a lot of this other stuff we can probably do pretty quickly here. So we're going to get through that first initial part of the mission structure pretty fast. Even though it's only day 1, we kind of know what to do. We know where to go and what to farm. So we're already getting through that. Same thing with our challenges. We're actually on part 2 of 5, almost done with that with champions. Artifacts, we're already up to 5 of 10. We haven't really been able to get anything from Spider yet to where we can make that one. I think I've got 3 artifacts so far, and you can see stage 4, we have to clear that as well. I haven't really been focusing on that too much, and we're waiting to get that defense arena win to advance that. But what I noticed, interestingly enough, it's been a while since I did this initial stage of the game, but if you kind of follow these challenges and pair them up with the missions as you go, it kind of leads your progression quite nicely. There's some early missions in here that you want to kind of do early and pay attention to them because it's kind of annoying to have to go back later in the game and farm like percentage gloves from, normal campaigns. So definitely follow along with those missions and those challenges. It kind of helps guide your account a little bit at the early stages. I kind of noticed that a little bit more. Now let's get to the juicy part, which is kind of the funniest thing. I have probably rolled 6 or 7 raid accounts in my time playing the game, and I have never pulled a legendary this early. My second ancient shard that I was able to get, I pulled Stalthus Dragonbane. So that's pretty cool. Now I know a lot of people they get mad when you get a legendary early in a free-to-play, but this is the first time it's ever happened for me, and quite honestly, I'm just going to play the account. You just play with what you're dealt. You can't really help it. So the nice thing was we got him. We actually did get a pretty solid pair of defense speed boots from the starter tournament. And then we got a halfway decent shield that did roll a double defense roll there. So we kind of threw that on him. Obviously the gear is garbage right now. But I tell you what, this guy absolutely smacks even early on. I've actually been using him to kind of nuke through campaign really quickly along with Elaine. You see here we've got her at 40 already. A couple of gear pieces on her. Just what the game has been giving us. We do have her ascended to 3 stars. Here is that Deacon Armstrong we got with the promo code. You're only limited to use one of those a day, I think, with the reset. So we'll be using some other ones once the reset does hit over. We're also going to get Ronda Rousey, of course, from the login. We've got a couple promo codes to use with that. I did pull Chani off one of my ancients, and I have to decide if she's someone we're going to want to invest in, or if we're going to use her as a 4-star chicken. I really like Chani. I did a video on her a while back. She is a pretty solid, well-rounded champion that pairs nicely with some others. She does have poison sensitivity. She does have the HP burn if you hit critical on that A2. And you can increase the duration of all debuffs by 1 turn. So she'd be a pretty solid champion for, say, clan boss. Again, we're not focusing on that super early on here, and we're not going to have a lot of resources, obviously, to invest in someone like this. But I do like Chani. I think if we do get the promo code for Mordecai, I would have to go in and actually play this account on my phone, which I don't know if I'm going to do or not. We could get our HP burner that way, but it's nice to have that HP burner and some other utility there with her that we can use a little bit earlier on in the game. We got Elder from the starter tournament. We're going to use him as a 4-star chicken for Elaine. Crusader's actually kind of interesting. He's kind of a fun utility champion early because he does have the ally attack on the A2, which has got a 3-turn cooldown, and you could book him off his own guys if you do pull him from your mystery shard. So I'm actually going to keep him, probably run him at 40. Maybe at some point we would take him to 5 stars, and then we could use him as a chicken at some point, but he's actually not halfway bad for doing some progression early in the game because he does have that ally attack, which is kind of cool. We do have War Priest here. She is our support / healer at this point. A lot of people think she's garbage. They feed her off right away, but we're going to use her for a little while. Probably take her again, maybe to level 40, and then we could eventually use her as a chicken. Zephyr Sniper, pretty solid spider tank once you get later in the game, but again, we're just kind of using her for some early progression in dungeons once we get to that point there. Pretty much everybody else here outside of Eris and Spirit Host are going to be food champions. Now, oddly enough, it's pretty funny on my list today was we need to go get a Spirit Host and a Diabolist, and we managed to get Spirit Host actually while doing, I believe, the normal campaign, so that's kind of rare you get those drops that early, so we're having some pretty good luck early on. And everybody else here is going to be food. I know some people are going to say Shield Guard, but I've actually done a video on why it's a bad idea to invest in Shield Guard early in the game, because you see all these videos about him soloing stuff and doing Minotaur, and the video I actually made was to specifically show him on about a 5-month-old account with decent gear where he was not anywhere near 100% on soloing. It was like you were lucky if he did it 30 to 40% of the time on Minotaur. And it's just a waste of resources to invest that much in an uncommon champion this early in the game. That's also something else with having a legendary this early. That can be a curse if you pull one so early on, because you don't have legendary books. You're not going to really have the gear to make them a great champion early on in the game. So even though we did pull Stalthus Dragonbane, he's going to stay 5 stars. We're still going to invest in Elaine, take her to 6 stars first. Deacon probably 5 and 6 after that. The nice thing about getting Deacon as well is since he does have the decreased defense, we don't have to farm a War Maiden, so that kind of takes care of that for us. I was hoping they'd have the promo code still running for Tyrell, because that's another thing you can do, but I don't think that one's active anymore. So we're not going to have to farm a War Maiden, which is going to save us a bunch of time and energy, and we're just going to be able to focus now on getting our Elaine up to 6 stars, and then building up our Deacon after that. And then we'll at some point we'll invest in Stalthus, because this guy is really nice. He's a defense champion, and he just slams his attacks. I actually used him, like I said, to kind of nuke through some of the campaign pretty quickly. So that's kind of what the roster is looking like so far. Day 1, like I said, doing pretty well. We got reset here in a few minutes. We'll switch over to day 2. You can see the login rewards that we do have coming up. Lots of rare books, a couple of shards, lots of energy, some epic books, which we'll put in a Deacon. We got some gems. Eventually you get High Katoon, who's a great champion. But that's actually the fun part today. We've worked through all the missions, and in going through everything, you can see we've already got Elaine fully booked. And that's just from doing the missions and the challenges today while we were running through our campaign. So she's already ready to go. She's fully booked. Now we just got to get her some better gear and get her leveled up to 6 stars. We got another rare book there waiting. We'll probably kind of store those up for a while until we figure out who we want to invest those in. I just want to probably use Spirit Host as my attack up champion in Arena. We're going to use Deacon, obviously, as the speed lead. And then if we can farm up that Diabolist, like I said, she's going to be like our budget apothecary to use for running through dungeons and other things like that. Now, dungeons are not a big focus right now, but we did go through and run a little bit. I think we got Dragon up to level 7. This was just going through some of the missions, and then also just had some, I put some auto battles on while I had to go downstairs and do stuff. Spider, we've just pushed up through 3. Spider's a little bit harder earlier on to push up a little bit. Fire Knight we just did through level 1. I think Ice Golem it's like level 6, but we're not really doing dungeons unless we have to for specific missions. Minotaur we went up through 4. And then I think the Potion Keeps, there's a couple in the challenges to do those early. So we've got a few of those taken up to like stage 5 or 6 to kind of clear those out. While they're all open at the same time, you get a whole week where these are all open, so it's kind of nice to go in, especially for your starter, and then maybe for one of your secondary champions that's pretty good. Go ahead and farm up enough potions to get them a couple of ascensions. It's going to make a big difference early in the game. That's also why we do have Minotaur out to stage 4. Something I like to do the first couple of days. I know a lot of people kind of skip over this, but we go in and we try to get at least the first couple of masteries done for some of your characters that you're going to be using. You can see here we've got a couple of those done already, which is going to be nice. If you can get the first 2 rows, it's kind of nice, but eventually we are going to probably use our gems once we get enough to go ahead and finish Elaine's masteries. And then maybe we'll do that for Deacon or Stalthus. I haven't decided yet. But that's kind of where we are day 1. Like I said, pretty good progress so far. We are on level 25. A great haul. We do have one of our first ones. Now, the reason I do the attack one here is there is going to be a mission early on where you have to have level 1 attack and spirit, magic, and force. So we go ahead and just do those 3 ahead of time to get that progression knocked out, and then we'll start working on whatever else we're going to do. I'm probably going to go crit damage Accuracy is, that's the one that's popular. Everybody likes to do that first, but Elaine doesn't need accuracy, thankfully, and if we just want her to hit hard, we can do crit damage. And we'll also be taking advantage of the Faction Guardians. Once we get in here and we can actually start farming the speed stage and brutal, we'll be getting a lot of these rare high elf drops. We'll be putting those in here. You can see here plus 10%. Plus 10% attack and HP early on is pretty good. That's actually almost equivalent to unlocking, one of these Great Hall levels at level 6, which is pretty amazing. That way, get a little bit of extra stats there for our starter. But that's kind of where we are right now. Again, we got really fortunate, pulled that legendary on day 1. Our Void Shard, I don't see... We pulled like a Bloat Wraith, I think. I already fed him all. Oh, no, here he is. I haven't decided... I'm probably going to use him as chicken. I've always wanted to build this champion out of my main account. I just haven't gotten around to it because I love the fact that he hits people with a freaking rusted out boat anchor. That's kind of cool. And he does have some interesting skills. I mean, he does have a decreased defense AoE with the fear. So stun on the A1, and then you've got the heal here once you get him ascended. So interesting champion who at some point, someday I'm gonna use this guy for something on my main account, but I don't think I'll be wasting resources here on the free-to-play, but he is kind of interesting to look at and see what we can do there. So hopefully we'll get the Forge unlocked pretty soon. We get some nice freebies there where we can build some perception pieces really early. And then actually, once we do get the Altar of Souls open, one of the kind of neat things I noticed today was we got quite a few deck of fate cards. And this is kind of nice. It's all free stuff early that we wouldn't otherwise have. We did pull Soulstone we can summon. We did pull an extra Ancient Shard. We got some multi-battles. So once we keep on going through here, we're getting a pretty good rate of these as we go through the campaign. So it's not too bad. And I don't think we're not worrying about the fusion. It's funny. I've actually heard some of the content creators talk about going for the fusion on like a 5-day-old account. And I'm like, there's just no way. You don't have any shards to pull for the Summon Rush or the Champ Chase. You don't have the dungeons far enough along to where you can farm them to get enough points. So I think it's kind of funny to hear some of the people talk about that, but we'll see. I don't know how often I'm going to update this. Maybe every couple of days. I'm not going to do a video every single day, but maybe like day 3, day 5, something like that. It gives me an excuse to make some content, I guess, on Raid, which it's been a while since we really did consistent content with the game. But maybe this will be something fun where you guys can follow along. And, of course, if you have any questions about anything, feel free to leave it down below in the comments. I know a lot of you guys have already watched through my first free-to-play series and found that pretty helpful. So not really too sure how heavily we'll go into like the advice on this one, but we'll definitely comment on some of the early game stuff and some of the things to watch out for. But that's going to do it for day 1 of our new free-to-play account here in 2023. Hope you guys found the video helpful and hope you enjoyed it. As always, hope you guys are having a great day. Thanks as always for watching, and I will see you again next time.